Here, back to bring some grumpiness to the internet. Welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where you get an extra healthy side helping today of greasy pan fried pork chops. I love them. I love them.
Mmm.
With me, as always, is Alex.
You had to think then, didn't you? You're like, which
Well, I was
one is
still
it
thinking
today?
about. I was still thinking about the pork chops.
To be honest, I've not had my dinner, and I would love a pork chop.
Yeah,
A
well,
really thick one,
yeah, I've got plenty of leftovers. I made supper last night, so
Oh, you're gonna heat me up some of your leftovers then?
sure. I don't know. After having my grandkids live with us for so long, I don't know how to cook now unless I cook for an army. And there's
Mm.
only the wife and I, so we've usually got plenty of leftovers if I cook.
Well, that saves time, doesn't it? Like you could just
Yeah,
you just create a few bowls of it, put it in the refrigerator, and off you go.
that's what I figure. Yeah, I get hungry like after the stream. I'll probably want to eat, and I'll just go heat me up some leftovers.
I really want minted lamb chops now. Oh.
I'm not like my ex son-in-law, Mama Minnie's ex-husband. Boy would not eat leftovers.
Why?
Period. He just wouldn't eat them, which was a problem because he often cooked, which I did appreciate, although he overspiced everything. But he would always cook way more than he needed. So there's all these leftovers, and he wouldn't eat them.
Well, that's a bit rubbish, but I guess if you're cooking for the what used to be the army that resided inside your house, like you are going to overcook quite a bit. But hello everybody. I hope you're well. What is it Saturday today? It is Saturday.
It is Saturday today.
It's Redneck Saturday, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. You won't know this, but listening to that reminds me of when I was younger. Because when I was in my 20s up into my 30s, we used to make very frequent trips down to Kentucky to visit family and friends down there, like at least twice a month, sometimes every weekend. Because it's not a hard day trip to make because it's only about a 5-hour drive to where all my family lives, which I know sounds like a lot to you, but for an American, that's nothing.
Well, yeah, I know.
But we'd go down there, and oftentimes, just like in the videos and the movies, they'd sit around and somebody be playing banjo and somebody else is playing guitar, and we're singing and a stomping and.
See, that just sounds like a good time.
It is.
It sounds like a wonderful time.
It absolutely is. It absolutely. I was just thinking the other day. I've got a cousin down there that's a couple of years older than me, and we're more like brothers than cousins. I don't have a real brother. I'm the only boy in my family, but
yeah,
we're more like brothers. And I used to go down there and stay with him a lot when we'd go down to Kentucky, and one of my fondest memories is just standing outside with him smoking because we didn't want to smoke in the house.
Yeah.
And to all hours of the night, just staring at the stars and talking about whatever came to mind. Just the two of us.
Oh, well, I've had like moments like that in the past where you just kind of spoke to somebody of a like mind and just talk.
Yeah,
about all different things.
He talks about it too. He's very fond of those memories too. Of course, I don't travel very well anymore, so I haven't been down there for a while. And we're both getting older. His joke, he's only 2 years older than me, and his joke was always, "Wait till you get my age." Like, dude, I'll never be your age. You'll always be 2 years older.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, we just sit around 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, staring at the stars and just talking about whatever we wanted to talk about, and just talking. And it was great. I miss those times. And I can't help but feel that in today's internet day and age, not enough people do that often enough. They're too stuck in front of their computer screen, and I'm just as guilty as everybody else.
Yeah, so am I, honestly, like I spend a great deal of time, sat here in front of the computer, whether it's live streaming or making content or whatever. It's but obviously that's going to change soon. So
Yeah, that's my cousin that, on my old videos, I used to have cousin Melvin that would show up.
yeah,
And Melvin's sort of kind of very slightly based on him because his real name is similar to Melvin. He's not nearly as dumb as Melvin. He's a pretty smart guy.
yeah.
But he's got the real thick Kentucky accent. You think my accent's bad? Real thick, and he talks even slower than I do. So some people do mistake him for dumb, but he's sharp as a tack.
Yeah. Damn it, Blubbing! I'm really hungry now.
I know. Nuts. You'd be more than if I had pork chops. All of y'all be invited. I'd set up the grill. I'd have to get a new grill because mine's busted, and we just all have a time. Yeah. And Mike Worski says, but I'm vegan. Vegan. Well, however I always mispronounce that. I'm sure we can find something you'd eat.
What? Mike Worski says he's a vegan.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can stay outside if you want. This here is a carnivore barbecue.
That's that's right. It is. It is. We could sit out here in my yard and laugh at the white trash that walk by and get arrested and just stand in the yard and point fingers and laugh at them.
Yeah.
That's what I do for fun.
I'd be up for it.
But
crack open a few cold beers and just have a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I say that I haven't actually had any alcohol for quite some time, so
I haven't either. It's probably been 6 months, probably. I just I love beer, but I just can't drink beer anymore because it gives me a headache. I've talked about that before, but it does. Before I'm even done with the first beer, I've got a headache starting. And I don't even have a buzz yet. I'm getting a headache, and I'm going, "What the heck? This ain't worth it." And I do like the cheap box wine. I'm not proud. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The cheaper, the better. We'll buy what's on sale. And I do like that. I do have to be careful with that because I like the taste of it so good that I'll
just keep on drinking.
I'll drink a little bit too much.
As you do.
Yeah, but no, it's been a while. It's been a long while. It just never comes to mind anymore. I don't think about it. I don't. Just don't. I got other things to do.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same with me. I don't really drink anymore, and cider used to have a very similar effect on me. Giving me a goddamn headache.
Yeah,
an awful headache.
Vanilla Bear says, "Cheap night out, then, blood." Exactly. I'm very cheap to entertain. Always have been. It don't take much money to entertain me. At all.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. But I can't do like cheap wine or cheap cider,
Well, I can't. One of the things talking about that though that cracks me up because I keep getting this comment because on Redneck Trick sometimes I mention PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and everybody says, "Oh, that's hipster stuff." I'm like, really? When I was a kid, like teenager to young 20s, that was the cheap stuff that all the white trash bought because they couldn't afford better.
Yes, times have changed.
And I guess the hipsters latched onto it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hipsters latch onto a lot of stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially if they think it's like retro or like old school or anything like that,
Well, PBR's been around forever.
Yeah. So that they probably look at it like that, It's like, oh yeah, my grandpappy used to drink this,
Yeah.
It's like look how edgy I am.
That was the cheap stuff you drank. Like what were some of the other cheap? And some of these aren't even around anymore. Oh, Stroh's, Falstaff, Falls City. just old, just cheap swill. Yeah, heck, I remember in my early 20s, Kroger, the local grocery store around here, Kroger used to sell a generic beer. It was a yellow can, and the only writing on it was the word beer.
Yeah. What that is in the UK is it's a store's like own brand stuff. You know, so it'll have the supermarket's name on it and then beer or lager or something like that, you know.
Well, this didn't even have the supermarket's name because back then Kroger had a lot of generic brand stuff, and it was just you knew what it was because it was this bright yellow label. Like bread would just be bright yellow, the package, and just would say bread on it.
Mm.
But you'd go buy this beer and it just said beer. Trust me, it was cheap. I tried it once. It's like this is awful.
Yeah, I certainly feel you there.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Michael Weiner, Schlitz. Yeah, I've had Schlitz before. Black Label. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And a lot of them old beers just aren't even around anymore. But yeah, I don't drink much. Oh, there was one thing that just come to mind that I wanted to, if y'all recall, and I know Alex probably does. At the end of the last live stream, I mentioned I was getting pop-ups from Windows wanting to restart my machine because they wanted to update.
Mm.
And this is probably, if it hasn't hit y'all yet, it's probably going to. I'm sure they're rolling it out over time until November. What it is it's not an update. It's a brand new version of Windows 10 because the old version is not going to be supported after November.
Oh no.
It took 3 hours on my old machine and deleted all my video drivers. I'm like, ah.
Oh no.
But yeah, be on the lookout. If that pops up on you, be prepared. It's going to take a while.
Yes, this sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, it's still Windows 10. I don't know why, if it's a brand new version or something, they wouldn't come up and call it something else. But it's, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so a bit of gas.
I've had some of that. I got rid of most of
mine. Got
that had me a nice good poo before the stream. So.
I'm sure I'll end up needing one around the 9 o'clock mark, half an hour beforehand. You going to Story? Yeah, are you getting food? Well, I think you should cook. Cook?
I'm cooking tomorrow.
What?
Cooking tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
You need to cook today. Tell her, Bloodwing.
Yeah. What did he say? It?
Yeah, he said, yeah. I'm hungry. Yeah, and all right, whatever. Sorry, mate. Please continue.
Yeah. RJ Bandsman says it's a new version of Windows 10. Unfortunately, yeah, it is. And like I said, the message said that you've only got a limited time to do this because the old version is not going to be supported after November. So at least they're giving you, a free update to the new version. But I'm just saying, just be prepared because I didn't know it was going to be like that. I started right after I got out of the Hangout and started the update. I went and laid down for a nap. I took a nap for like an hour and a half, got up, and it was still running, was only like halfway done.
That's annoying.
It is. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that so that people would be prepared because I assume that they're doing like a rolling update, slowly rolling it out to everybody. So.
Buggery.
Yeah.
That's
Is
annoying.
what it is. Oh, that internet life. Hey, Maddie. But yeah. Anyway, so how you been, dude?
I've been okay. Thank you very much for asking. I've been all right. Yeah, I've been up to same old, really, you know, just trucking on, I guess. Obviously, as you know, I'm in the process of making the next Lord Bear video, and it's causing a little bit of pain. As I explained to you, obviously, I'm not revealing it fully to people yet because I want them to get that surprise when I actually eventually release it. But it's not good. It's not good. It's not good when I'm not enjoying it, you know.
Yeah, I get you.
It's not that I suppose that's probably the wrong terminology. I suppose I'd use for it. I am obviously I'm enjoying the video making process, but the person that I'm making the video about is painful to just look at. Never mind listen to him.
Yeah. I get you. Well, like we was talking about before the stream started, I've been editing on the next episode of Redneck Truck all morning. I stayed up to like 2 a.m. because I can, because I don't have to wait, take kids to school this morning. And lo and behold, I wake up at 6:30 in the morning because that's what my body's used to and can't get back to sleep. So I started editing.
Sod's law, mate. Sod's law.
Yeah. So I started editing. But like I was telling you, everything's so tiny in Vegas. No matter what you do, it's just tiny, and you're staring at it, and your eyes start burning and crossing. And I was glad to take a break. Plus, I'm struggling with this one a little bit.
Yeah,
struggling with it. I'm afraid it's probably going to come in a little long. So I'm trying to cut out as much as I can, but the storyline still makes sense.
Yeah.
But and there's a piece of it that I've already edited that I could probably go back and take out most of it, but I don't want to because some of my best jokes are in that bit. And so I'm struggling with it.
How long is it currently?
I don't know. My guess is it's going to, as it stands right now, and this is just purely a guess because I'm not through with the editing process yet, and there is some more chopping to do. It's going to come in at about 40 to 45 minutes. At the minute. It might not. It might come in a little lower than that, but it just depends on how much I chop out.
Yeah.
But I leave stuff in there. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example, and I don't think you watched that episode, but a couple of episodes back, those of you that do have watched it, the episode before I actually took on the Planet Killer, and there was a big, long conversation with that Klingon I let out of jail, and I left a lot of that in because it helped further the story, gave you the background of what was going on.
Yeah.
But it was hard to sit through. So I tried to add some nice music to it to make it better.
Where are you getting your music from, by the way?
From YouTube.
From YouTube, okay. I've been going to Incompetech a lot recently for videos.
Well, I'll be honest, and I'll admit something here. A lot of the music that I've been pulling is music that's been featured on Neeb's gaming videos. And I'll hear it on there, and I'm like, I like that. And if you look in their description, they'll tell you what the song is, right?
Yeah, a lot of what they get is from Incompetech as well,
Yeah, and I'll go over to YouTube and snatch it because I like it.
Yeah, like all the ones they use for Subnautica.
Mm-hmm.
They're all from Incompetech. I've been sort of like listening to different songs, going through to find out, like trying to figure out what's best for the particular video, and lo and behold, the Subnautica songs were popping up every so often.
Yeah.
I
don't think that I don't think you've watched since I switched over. I've totally cut out the game music now. And I just, if there's music, it's music that I've added in.
Okay.
So, and I try to set the mood with that music. If it's a silly scene, then it'll be silly music. If it's a bunch of pew pews, then it's a little bit more, edgy music.
Yeah.
But trying to set it up with that, I think good music is important to that kind of video, especially. To make it interesting and exciting and or funny or whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it really sets the mood, sets the atmosphere. And what are you doing down here, boy? I'm hungry.
Of course he is.
I guarantee I'm hungrier than you right now, boy. You've actually had things to eat today. I haven't. I'll be back in a minute, mate.
Alrighty. And Deck Train, Maddie knows how to ask for the link if she wants to come in. She knows how to ask. I mean, I get it. I don't like to ask people, but she knows with me. All she's got to do is ask, and I'll send her a link if that works out for the stream I'm doing it that day. So, how you doing, chat? Hope you're having a good Saturday. Hey, Pat. Hey, Maddie. Nuts. I've said hello to you. RJ Bandsman. Michael Weiner was here early on. I seen him. Just because I don't post don't mean I'm not peeking at the chat, early on. RJ Bands is sick with the cold. Oh, summer colds are the worst. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Necrosol Collins is doing well. Just finished overtime. Hey, it's good when you can get it. Good when you can get it. It's like I said, I'm a little short. I did lay back down a little while ago, but I didn't get much sleep for a nap. Ryan Rollins says we only had 2 bets on the power of your bladder. Don't fail us now. Yeah, I know. I was watching and chuckling. Yeah. Give me a second here, Maddie. Let me find you on my Twitter because, God, you know how it is with this new Twitter. And there, it's sent. Yeah, doing all right. At least at least there's nobody being arrested right outside my window today, like there was last time. Kyler says I'm avoiding mowing the lawn again. Even if I mowed my own lawn, I couldn't today. It's been storming all day, and I mean storming. I laid down for, like I said, I got up at 6:30, laid back down about 11. Took about an hour nap. Wasn't a full hour. I was awake off and on through there. When I got back up at 11, it was so dark out, it looked like it was 9 o'clock at night. I mean, it was.
Bloodwing, I'll just be back in about 5 minutes, mate. All right.
Alrighty. But yeah, it's clearing up now. The sun's starting to shine.
Hey, hello.
Hey, I sent you that link and almost forgot to come over bring you in. I have a habit of watching the stream on the watch page, not on the dashboard of StreamYard.
Ah, okay.
I do that because if somebody does give a donation, it's easier for me to spot on the watch page because it comes up different colors.
Ah,
and it doesn't on the dashboard.
I got it. Yeah, Deck asked me, but it's not really. I don't think it's going to be a cooking stream with Satsu. I am going to make a recipe, put it on my blog, and then tag Satsu in it, Deck Tran, and challenge him to make it.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen until I have the kitchen the way that I want it, and I'm very particular about that. So when that happens and he will get challenged, it'll probably be a Cuban dish for his first challenge.
Well, that'll be something different.
Yeah.
That'll be something different. So how you been, Musy?
I've been doing all right. I've been hanging in there. I've been growing my little following on Twitch, and believe it or not, I haven't even been like streaming there for a year. I mean, a month. Hasn't even been a month. No, it hasn't. And I got my first allotment from. I got $118 from them last week.
Well, cool.
So, hey.
Better than poking the eye with a sharp stick.
Oh yeah, it's always nice when you get paid for doing what you like to do.
Yep, exactly. Sorry, I got distracted with something on Twitter there for a second. Somebody, there's a notification. I'm one of them people that I gotta look.
Oh yeah,
I gotta look. There's certain things. I don't think that I'm certainly not ADD, and I don't think I'm obsessive compulsive. Really, maybe just a little bit on certain things, but. There's certain things that'll drive me nuts, like on YouTube. When I open up YouTube, if there's the red numbers next to the little bell up there, I got to click it. I got to get it out of the way right away because I don't want that looking at me.
It's like Pavlov's dog got to response click.
If I open up Discord and the different Discords I got numbers next to them, which means there's comments I didn't see.
Yeah.
I got to click on them and clear them out. Got to because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't.
Oh yeah, I was in the middle of waiting for my coffee to brew this morning when I got tagged in a tweet with Fuckwad going, "Oh, Maddie, please help this mistaken soul," and it was somebody from Canada who's actually running for parliament or something that tweeted, "Fidel Castro is a hero, period." And I'm like, really? Before coffee? Okay, crack knuckles.
I've seen that one. I did poke my nose in on Twitter a little bit when I first woke up this morning, just to have my first cup of coffee and get awake enough that I felt like opening up Vegas to edit a video. But yeah. Hey, Nuggets, long time no see, dude.
I cracked my knuckles and started. I was on the phone with Ronan, and I went, "Oh God, before coffee?" He went, "What before coffee?" I read him the tweet, and he goes, "Oh shit."
It's not just that, but you see it with Castro, you see it with Shea, you see it with different ones. How I don't understand how people can be so ignorant and so blind to history.
I don't know. I don't know. I even got into an argument with somebody who was like, "Oh, so basically I'm talking to somebody who believes in what their gram says."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, no, I actually did my own research and did 2 parts of a documentary, if you'd like the links to those. And it wasn't just my grand, it was both sides of my family.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
I mean, I get it. I understand why young people are attracted to socialism. I do get the appeal. It's got a nice euphoric sound to it that everybody's got the same, and you don't, and everybody's taken care of and everything, but that's not the way real life works in practice. Nope. That's not the way it works out.
Yeah. I mean, these people are just, I remember walking out of a Cuban, they said they were an authentic Cuban restaurant, and they had Che Guevara as a mural in their kitchen. Like the straight shot from the front door to the kitchen where the counter was, where you put all your plates for exposition. There was Guevara. I'm like, you've got to be fucking, I'm not eating here. Just on principle, I'm not eating here. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm like, you guys need to seriously buy tickets and go to either Venezuela or Cuba and just see how long you last under communism or socialism. Flip a coin, because there's not that much difference in between the two, really.
Right.
And it just astounds me.
Right. And democracy and capitalism, no, they're not perfect. Absolutely, they're not perfect. But I don't know of a better system out there, or a more fair system. And oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. There's people that's rich, with more money they can do with it, and then there's people that don't have enough money to eat. Well, it's fair because everybody has the opportunity to be that rich guy.
Yeah.
The of course, there are plenty of arguments you could bring in there that socialists often do, saying, "Oh, it's the 1%, and they're all born rich." Yeah, of course, that's always going to be the case.
Oh yeah,
that old money. That old money was once new money.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's no secret. I've talked about it before. I spent a lot of my life working in car dealerships, and one of the Honda dealership I worked for, the person that owned that or started that, he doesn't run it. In fact, the old man may not even be alive anymore. But it's one of the biggest chains in central Indiana. He's got stores all over the place. He started with a gas station selling used cars.
Oh yeah. It's just the rich people that I can't stand are the trust fund babies who were given everything, who weren't made to earn, the family money. Yeah. The playboys, the ones that are spoiled brats, over the moon and beyond. Not the ones whose parents said, well, if you want to earn any of this, you're going to have to work for it.
Yeah. And and this may sound funny to you because, it's no secret that I'm kind of poor. I don't consider myself one of the poor. I think of myself as lower middle class because I do have a house, a roof over my head. I don't live in the projects, and we do have food to eat.
Yeah.
We're not starving. So I figure I'm lower middle class, but it may sound funny to you. Well, you're not what you didn't make it. Yeah. And as I look back, my life choices that I made just didn't get me there.
Yeah, same
here. It's like when I was when our son was 2, and due to circumstances beyond our control, Ronan and I were forced to split, and I stayed with my parents. I was working full time and trying to go to school full time, trying to get a degree to be a mechanical dress person. Well, the problem with that is, even when you're young, if you have respiratory problems and not getting enough sleep, you get something called acute bronchitis, which is 3 steps from pneumonia.
Yeah, I get it all the time.
Yeah, and the doctor literally told me, he said, you have a choice. Either you work and you leave your schooling behind, or you go to school, get on state help if you can, and raise your kid. But you can't do both because you're going to wind up in this hospital with pneumonia. Well, since I was raised to earn every bit of money that I ever, worked for, I walked away from my education and went to work to keep food on the table and, make sure that my kid had everything that he needed.
Yep. Real quick, thank you. The next 6 minutes for the donation. This cup of coffee on me, BW, bro hugs all around. Yeah, dude. And thank you. But yeah, people are stupid.
I've got to admit, actually, when I sat down and had this interview a couple of weeks ago, and obviously I had the subsequent phone call saying, oh, Alex, we'd like you to come work for us. Like, I thought about it, and the reason why I got that job is because of what I chose to do on YouTube. I decided to become a YouTuber. I decided to start networking with people and talk about things like mental health and make friends with the people that I did. I made those choices, and it's because of those things and the experiences that I've had that I was able to sit down quite confidently and speak about those experiences. And I think that really helped me kind of get the job,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now my situation's a little different because I'm old.
Yeah.
And most of my experience comes in lines of work where it's at least got some of a physical side to it. Mm-hmm. Even when I was assistant manager at car garages, I had to be on my feet and trust me, you see those guys at the car garage when you take your car in to fix it, those guys work long hours. On average, I worked 65 hours a week.
Damn.
So I'm on a cement floor standing because they didn't like for you to sit. They wanted you to stand behind your desk. It was a stand-up desk, on a cement floor for 12 hours a day or more.
Yeah.
And I just can't do that anymore. And I'm not proud. Shoot, I'd go flip burgers at McDonald's, but I can't stand there and do that because of my physical.
It's also a very, very fast-paced environment as well.
Oh, I've done it before. Yeah, I've done it before.
As an old man, so.
Well, not as an old man, no.
Yeah, about to say, because I don't think you'd be able to keep up, would you?
No. When my wife and I were dating before we got married, I for a little while I worked at a Dairy Queen. So yeah. I've flipped burgers, and before that, when I was 19, 20, I worked at a Denny's. So I've done my fair share of that, but yeah.
Yeah, mine's mostly convenience stores, delivery job, anything having to do with food or retail. I've done it, and I remember my first retail job when I went from a convenience store to working Party City. The lady goes, "Do you have a problem picking up and moving around heavy boxes?" And then she looked down at the application at the same time she was asking the question. She goes, "Oh, you worked in a convenience store, so you stocked the cooler and had to handle cases of bottled beer?" "Yes." "Okay, boxes aren't any problem for you. Don't forget I asked that question. Forget
it." Real quick, thank you, Michael Weiner, for the Streamlabs donation. I'm really looking forward to the next episode of Redneck Track. Keep up the good work. Thank you for the content. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I really am. I do that because I enjoy it, and I hope it shows. I do that series because I really do enjoy it.
Oh, keep it up, man.
Yeah. And I actually like playing the game. I was playing it last night. After I'd recorded my voiceovers for Redneck Trek, I logged into one of my other characters and was trying to get them to level 40. And I did.
It is a fun game. There are some missions though that make you want to pull your hair out, but it is fun.
Well, I skip all the missions that force you to play with other people. I skip those because I don't play well with others. But no. That's one thing I do appreciate is it gives you the opportunity to skip a mission and go on to the next one.
Yeah.
I do like that, but yeah, I'm glad y'all enjoy it, and I have a lot of fun doing that, and want to continue having fun, and I think this one there's no like really big scene in this one coming forward, but I think there's some pretty decent jokes throughout this one. But like I mentioned, the one before or the one after, there's going to be some changes, so keep an eye out for that one.
I had this idea, but you know me and ideas. I maybe make one or two, videos to do with it and then kind of abandon it. Although to be fair, I have kept up with the other series that I've started on the channel, like gag ads, for example. I've only done one of the candid calls so far, but I only released that the other day. But there's a part of me that really kind of wants to do a Lord Bear in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my God.
First person, just running around doing his thing.
That would probably work pretty well. You remember on Neebs Gaming, Abstro done the what did he call it? Angry Cop?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So I can imagine something like that and it being hilarious.
Yeah, I when I imagine it in my head, I imagine Lord Bear walking around like in first person. He's wandering down the street and he's really mad at how well the colonies are doing. And he just keeps bitch slapping people and kind of ends up getting killed over and over again.
Yeah.
So something like that, I don't know. It's just an idea at the
Well,
moment.
I'm going to tell you something right now, and I was amazed the last episode of Redneck Trek that I did, and Musi knows because she's played the game. She knows that is a very difficult mission, the Planet Killer, the Doomsday Machine. For that early in the game,
Yeah.
At the level you're at, it's very difficult. I was shocked I didn't die.
I must have died 3, 4, 5 times trying to do it. And I had people helping me.
Yeah, and on previous characters, I'd done the same, but somehow on old BJ, I didn't die. I was shocked. On this one coming up, I can't say the same. But you won't see it because I cut it out because I like that.
Okay. I was like, I want to
Oh God.
along the lines of Lord Bear too, but with me, I was going to do Lotro, a 0 to like max character, and make it a fish out of water, like somebody from our world in the middle of Middle Earth trying to get around and trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I played Lord of the Rings online quite a while ago, but I have played it. Real quick, thank you, Diesel Dave, for the donation. Redneck Trek has become one of my favorite shows. Dude, I seriously, you may think I'm just blowing smoke, but I do appreciate that. And I appreciate how much everybody likes it. It makes me feel good. And honestly, I would do it even if I weren't able to monetize them. I just have fun doing it.
Yeah.
But this coming, I didn't cut out the death scenes. I was actually going to work it into the storyline. Like, what kind of magic is this? I'm back alive. What the heck? But this one's coming in so long, I had to start making cuts. So some of the longer space battles, and there are a couple of really long space battles in this episode. I mean, really long.
Mm-hmm.
It's the episode, if you remember, Maddie, where you first take on the Romulans and they're attacking Vulcan.
Oh yeah,
It's a massive space battle. I had to cut it deeply for time's sake. Yeah, there was a couple of deaths there because I forgot you got to take out all of what's her name's little minions before you take on her big ship, or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So, like, why am I dying? What the heck? Oh yeah. But are you still there, Alex?
Yes.
I heard some shuffling. I didn't know if you had to run off and do something. In case you're wondering about the title, The Pumpkin Spice Conspiracy, those of you on Twitter may have seen me retweet this, and that amazed me. That tweet got more retweets by far than any tweet I've ever sent out, ever.
What did you say?
It must have got retweeted 10 times and was replied to at least 50. And then for me, that's massive.
Well, yeah, that is a lot of tweets. Yeah, it's massive for me, to be honest, mate.
It was. I posted an article, and there were a few, and this is real. This is not made up because I looked into it. I thought this has got to be a joke. For fall, the creators of Spam, the mystery meat Spam, is coming out with a pumpkin spice flavored Spam. Yeah, exactly. And I tweeted it out and said, I blame you millennials for this. This has gone too far.
Well, you know what I find? I've had a couple of tweets go like that, and they even got put into the moments tab by somebody, and so more and more people could see them. And it's usually when I was speaking about food.
Yeah.
There seems to be something about food that just makes like shit go fairly like semi or a little bit viral,
Yeah.
You may remember me taking a picture of a new food product that my local supermarket had on, and it was a Yorkshire pudding. And if you don't know what a Yorkshire pudding is, please feel free to Google it. And what it was a giant Yorkshire pudding with pizza inside of it. And I took a picture of it, and I was like, what degeneracy is this?
Pudding with pizza in it. Of course,
it's not a pudding.
I know we Americans have a different idea what pudding is than you Brits sometimes, or vice versa, whatever it is. But
I got to be back in a little bit. Ruby Sue needs to go pee.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Enjoy.
But now, don't get me wrong. I like Spam. I'm a redneck. Of course I do. You know, that canned meat. Fried Spam sandwiches are great. I love a fried Spam sandwich. But not with pumpkin spice. How in the world does that even work together?
It sounds disgusting, if I'm honest. I'm not one to turn my nose up at food.
Right.
As you know. But that sounds genuinely disgusting.
Yeah. And I'm not opposed to pumpkin spice either. I'm not a fan of pumpkin spice coffee. I don't like anything in my coffee. Black coffee. No sugar, no cream, no nothing. That's the way I like it. But, you know, I've had pumpkin spice cookies and cake and Pop-Tarts and stuff like it. They weren't bad. They're okay. I think they even, one time I tried some pumpkin spice Oreo cookies, which wasn't bad.
I don't like Oreos.
But Spam? Oh, no.
That is, it's wrong. It's degeneracy is what it is.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I first heard it on the Bob and Tom radio show on the way to take my grandkids to school yesterday morning. I'm like, this can't be real. So the first thing I did as soon as I got up is looked it up. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's real.
Well, you know what to talk about in your tweets now if you want them to go like semi-viral,
right?
Food. Yeah.
Talk about Spam. Hey, maybe Spam will start to sponsor me.
Well, why not? Yeah. The Redneck Radio is sponsored by Spam.
Yeah. Sponsored by Spam, Moon Pies, and RC Cola.
Yeah. Do it.
I don't know if you remember that, but it was you I was talking to on Twitter. This has been a long time ago. And we were talking about RC Cola and Moon Pies. I was explaining to you what they were. And RC Cola, the official Twitter, actually commented on the.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, any chance of a sponsorship, RC Cola?
I'll take it.
Like, yeah, why not, dude? Like, I mean, people can't give you crap for that, can they? Well, they can. They can make fun of you for it, but they can't give you like the legit criticism over it. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take a sponsorship if somebody wants to offer me one. Heck yeah.
It's a bit different from the usual sponsorships you see these days.
It'll help me out through this period while I'm, you know, because I am contesting them turning me down for disability. So,
yeah,
you know, in the meantime, I got to make money.
Yeah. I'm fairly sure the chat wouldn't have any issues with you every, I don't know, 30 minutes, just throwing in a little RC Cola ad that you've created yourself.
Sure. You know, and that's, speaking of that, and you know this as a creator, you're able to place ads anywhere in your video you want them.
Well, it provided the video is longer than 10 minutes. Although YouTube has recently introduced extra ads for those who are unaware. Before, YouTubers, if they wanted more than one ad on their video, they would have to make the video longer than 10 minutes. But now, YouTube is throwing in advertisements at the end of those videos if they're under 10 minutes.
Right.
And sometimes they're doubling up on those as well, which is a bit odd, but yeah, especially if it's music. But sorry, mate, please continue.
No. Real quick, Cryptic, thank you for the Streamlabs donation. Redneck Radio is sponsored by All Diabetic Foods. You guys eat. My wife eats that stuff because she is diabetic. I don't eat anything with the word die in it. No, thank you. But anyway, yeah, longer than 10 minutes. You can put the ad, which of course is no problem for me to make a video longer than 10 minutes, but you can stick the ads in wherever you want. By default, that they put one at the front and at the end.
Yeah, and if you make it over 10 minutes, you can place ads wherever you like, and you can place up to 20 of them, I believe.
So whenever you all are watching videos by your favorite creators and you get an ad in the middle of it pop up, that creator put that there. I'm not picking on it. I'm just saying.
Well, not necessarily. What I try to do now is if the video is particularly long, if it's like 20 minutes or longer, and I've had a few of those on Irate Alex recently, as you know, If you, when you upload the video, if you give the video, I don't know, like an hour to kind of sit there and sit in its own juices, YouTube will suggest placements, and you can press a button and it will place ads in there automatically to where it thinks are the best places for it. It doesn't always do it in a logical sense, shall we say? But yeah, you have that option as well.
And yes, Michael Weiner, as long as you're monetized, right? You'd have to be monetized to have that. But
oh yeah, of course,
I mean, like you all hear us talk about Neebs Gaming all the time because I really love that channel, and I'm kind of excited because they've just ended the Conan series and they're going to start the 7 Days to Die series again.
Oh,
and that
are
was
they?
always really good. Yeah.
Oh, something to look forward to. It'll definitely bring me back to the channel. I don't like the Conan stuff.
Well, it ended.
As
it
you
ended.
know.
They just had the last episode yesterday.
One thing that I hate, I've said this to someone the other day, I hate it when you see a channel that is done very well and you can see the views going down over time.
Yeah.
And you can see that in Neebs Gaming, and I don't like it, and I really want them to kind of move on to something else to kind of reinvigorate the channel, you know?
Yeah. Thank you for the donation, Diesel Dave. I pay not to see ads. And that's great. If you're on like, what's it called? YouTube Red, you won't get ads. But the creator automatically gets money from anything that's watched from YouTube Red.
Yeah.
So I love it when people are on that. I love it because that means, hey, I'm going to get money.
Yeah, and that also helps as well. Like if you get the yellow symbol of doom, and you get limited or no ads, like being if a YouTube Red user comes along and watches your video, you know you're going to get paid a little bit. So,
but yeah, the what I started to say, I really appreciate what Neebs does because when they stick ads in the middle of their videos, it's always at a good place. I always hate when I'm watching a video and like mid sentence it goes to a ad.
Right?
I hate that.
Yeah, no.
But theirs are always at the perfectly placed opportunity, you know, like in between scenes.
Yeah. I've noticed a few creators that kind of do that. They upload the video and they kind of watch it back, and they place ads in places where it would be suitable, you know?
Yeah. But I've always, what got me on this, I was thinking, I didn't think I actually said what my thought was that got me started. Automatically you're going to get at least an ad at the front and an ad at the back. And I've thought a little bit about sticking ads in the middle of it, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet because I don't want to aggravate people. I know the ads aggravate people. They aggravate me sometimes.
They're aggravating sometimes. Especially when somebody's got 20 million of them. He had a 10-minute video, like 4 ad spots. I'm like, really?
Oh, I was watching.
I shall return in around 10 minutes, mate.
Okay. I was watching one the other day. And, you know, I've mentioned before on here, I like to watch some of those music reaction channels. You know, that they're usually young people reacting to classic rock, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Supposedly songs they've never heard before, groups they've never heard before. And there was this one that I was watching, and the video was like maybe 15 minutes long, you know, considering you got to stop the song every once in a while to keep from getting blocked.
Yeah.
And they make their commentary and so forth on it. So 15 minutes long at most. And I swear the guy had at least 10 ads in the thing.
Wow.
I was like, I can't even watch this. I can't. Thank you, Diesel Dave, for the donation. I listen to YouTube all day. I quite often I do, not all day. Can't say all day, but you know, quite often I do.
I will warn the people on the stream, if you hear heavy breathing or the sounds of stampeding, that's my dog. She's got the zoomies.
Ah.
That's what's going on over here right now.
Yeah. Well, Musi, I'm about to put you in a tough situation because I was hoping to do it while Alex here because I know he can carry it off real well. Mm-hmm. I've got to go to the restroom. So can you talk to chat for a minute?
Oh, sure.
All right.
That's no problem.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Ring around the collar. God, I remember that. 54 minutes. Hey there. See, there's a commercial that this is how great the jingle is. Growing up in Georgia, I don't remember the name of the actual business because they didn't sing the name of the business. They sung the name of the address. So for any of you guys on the East Coast that know it, 4801 Buford Highway. That's what I grew up with on the thing. That and Wolfman Jack's Furniture Outlet and things like that. So yeah, just I don't like, if I can skip the ads, I'll skip the ads. If I really like the creator and I can't skip the ad, then okay, fine, but I'll just walk to another room. But yeah, if people are going to put ads in videos, don't interrupt the sentence. Don't put 20 million of them in there because then I won't watch the video. When I use Dissenter on my laptop, for some strange reason, it doesn't block any ads. Quick, I don't have any embarrassing stories about Papaw. I don't. Now, Papaw, and I will admit, Papaw has actually on Twitter, when he's seen me arguing with somebody, tell me and the other person to knock it off. And I have said yes, Papaw, and I have stopped. Because, when Papaw says stop, you stop. Yeah, it does. There are some League of Legends players that I watch that I'll sit through the ads because I like their personality. They have a really great personality and they're funny, so I don't mind sitting through the ads. But there are some people that I can only take in small doses normally. And when they put ads in between them talking, it's like, okay, I can't stand you at all now. There are some creators that don't put ads, in their videos, even though they're monetized, and that's fine. But still, some of those people, it's just, I can't. To me, there's 3 different types of YouTube content creators. There's the ones I can binge. There's the ones I have to be in the mood for. And then there are the ones where it's like, okay, I'm just going to put you on and go vacuum.
Yeah. I'm back now. I tried to make it as quick as I could, so I didn't leave you hanging out there. But I had to. I was already doing the pee-pee dance in my chair.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. I sometimes think about putting, especially on my longer videos, like some of the Redneck Trek ones, because they're starting to, I'm noticing a pattern. They're starting to come in right about 35 minutes.
Yep.
Which, when the first time I mentioned that, Alex is like, 35 minutes. And I'm like, that's the same length as the last one you just watched. Did it feel like 35 minutes?
Nope.
Well, no. And especially if you're able to catch the premiere, it just doesn't feel like you're sitting there that long.
No, it doesn't. And it's like, and I like that because, you fall in you fall in the category of the creators. Well, I will sit down and I will watch. I won't click away. Yeah. I'll watch the entire video because, I like how you sound, and then I like when you're having fun. It's just an enjoyable video to watch. And even when you're informing us and giving us a history lesson, I'll sit. My butt's in the chair. I'm paying attention. Because I want to hear what Papa has to say. But yeah, your Redneck Trek, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter how long they are because they don't feel like they're long.
Yeah. I really don't want them to go much over that, though. I think that's about the limit of what, after that, I might be trying people's patience. Although a couple episodes back, I don't remember exactly which episode it was, a couple episodes back, it was a good 35 to 37 minute video. And when it was over, people were saying, already? It's over already? Yeah. I'm like, dude, you've been sitting there for almost 40 minutes. Listen.
Right? There's this one channel that I watch. I think it's Clownfish TV. It's a married couple. And I had to laugh because apparently there have been people complaining in their comment section that they cut each other off or they finish each other's sentences or things of that nature because they mentioned that in a video I was watching of them. And then the guy goes, we're married. We do that. Like, if you don't like the fact that we cut each other off or we finish each other's sentences or we're interrupting one another because we're a married couple. Why did you subscribe to this channel?
Yeah, exactly. And yes, Kyler, always leave them wanting more. And I'm just amazed because this was just honestly, guys, Redneck Trek. If you remember, those that are regulars and have been regulars for a while to this stream will remember when it came up. It was just a stream with me and Monkey was here and Alex, and it was just an off the wall idea of me saying, you know, I ought to do this, and this because I had picked up the game again and Alex and Monkey are saying, "Oh, do it, dude, do it."
Yeah, I remember that.
And there we are,
Yep.
you know, and people do seem to enjoy it. Is it massively popular? No, my streams get many more views than that does, but I'm happy with what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah,
I'm certainly happy. With what I'm getting out of it, and I have a ball. I'm not just blowing. I'm not the type. I will not blow smoke up your butt to make you feel happy, because I'm more the type to tell you what's on my mind, even if you don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I enjoy the premieres. I enjoy sitting there with everybody and seeing the comments and watching, you know, together. And yes, I watch my own content, and I'm sitting here laughing with you guys. Because I put in what I think's funny, and it makes me laugh every time I watch it. You know, so I figured that, well, that's what'll make them laugh if it makes me laugh. So
oh yeah, when I used to be a member of a kin playing Lotro, I had a blog going on the kin website where I was actually doing it as an experiment, like the days stuck here, day one, where you know somebody got transported in the middle of. Because I have no idea what's going on. All I know is the air is really clean and the sky is really blue. There aren't any cars. Why aren't there any cars around here?
I have returned.
he has returned.
That's right. Sorry, the missus cooked a little bit of food, so I just tried to wolf that down as quick as I could.
Well, we don't want you fading away and fainting or something.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm a starving Ethiopian child, and there's nothing left of me.
I know. Know the feeling as I lay here tapping my belly.
Right?
I do love. I think it was Mama Minnie, my daughter. This is the man just loves to eat, and she is not wrong. I just love to eat, yeah, there's been times I wasn't even really hungry and still ate because I just like food.
Yeah, I mean, I have a big weakness for dairy products. A really big weakness for them.
Oh, you put a plate of cheese anywhere near me, and I'm going to keep sneaking a bite.
If I can sniff it, if I can smell it, like don't expect to come back to find anything left.
That's the split down the middle at breakfast that Ronan and I have, because he likes, and I've never heard of this before in my life, to put sugar in his grits. Me, cheese grits all the way. Put cheese in them suckers. I'll eat them all day long.
Well, my side of the family always put sugar in it.
See, I'd never heard of that until I got to know.
Of course, we put sugar in white rice too. So,
see, well, Cubans do that with a little bit of milk at the end of dinner. So that I've heard of.
Yeah, Vanilla Bear likes to boil rice in milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not too far from rice pudding, because rice pudding is milk, sugar, vanilla extract, a lemon rind, and your rice, and that's it. That's pretty much rice pudding.
Yeah. You got to put some raspberry jam on it.
Now my
rice pudding.
My wife will not eat rice, any kind of rice. She won't eat it. Will not eat it because she's one of them people that her mind plays on her a lot when she eats things. And she thinks it looks too much like maggots.
Oh,
and she won't. And of course, the rest of us, being how we are, always playing up on that. Ooh, it's maggots. While we're eating our rice, and she's over there about to barf.
I want some rice pudding.
I like rice.
I can. I will send you the recipe for Cuban rice pudding. It's not that hard.
But yeah, growing up, my mom, way she always fixed rice was just plain white rice with just a dash of butter in it and sugar sprinkled on it, and that's the way we eat it.
Huh.
You know.
I think the first thing my grandmother ever made that I turned my nose up to. She still, the rule in our house and our entire family was before you turn your nose up to it, and you've never had it before, at least give it one try. And I'm like, okay, now I'm coming in. I'm in Miami, summer break, coming into my grandmother's house after playing with my friends. She says, "It's dinner time. Go get yourself something out of the pot." And I'm like, pot? Because she hardly ever uses a pot. It's everything with her. As she got older, she got lazy. But I'm lifting the lid of the pot, and my top lip starts to curl because she's boiling pig's feet. And I'm kind of looking at this like, really? Grandma's eating this for dinner? And she goes, "Just try it. Don't you? I see the look on your face. At least try it." I went, "Oh, okay." So I got a plate, put one of them things on my plate, sat down, put I went to take the tiniest bite, and my grandmother went, "You know the rule. The bite's got to be bigger than that. You got to get a good taste." I went, "Oh, okay." So I got a big bite out of it, put it in my mouth. I must have made the look of someone who stuck a sour persimmon in her mouth or something, because my grandmother went, "All right, go into the kitchen and make yourself a ham sandwich."
Yeah, my mom always had the same rule, and even for the grandkids, if she'd make supper, and they would say, "Well, I don't like that." "Well, have you tried it?" "No." "Well, you're going to try it." And she would take at least a tablespoonful of whatever it was, so that, if they didn't like it, it didn't get wasted.
Yeah.
And put it on their plate and said, "You're going to eat that." And we pretty much had the same rule about my family's not about wasting food. Don't waste food.
Right.
And I can remember, this is probably the only time that she ever beat me, Mama Minnie, my daughter, who's just as bullheaded as I am. Imagine that. When she was little, she wanted a Pop-Tart. She was probably, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. She wanted a Pop-Tart. Well, okay, here, you can have a Pop-Tart. Well, she ate about a half of the first Pop-Tart, and then she didn't want any more. I said, "Oh, no. You're not going to waste that. You wanted it. You eat it." Yeah. I made that girl sit there for about 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
And she still hadn't ate that Pop-Tart. I'm like, okay, you win.
So far, the only thing I've gotten around not having to taste is cow tongue, because it's a Cuban delicacy. But
it's a redneck delicacy.
Well, I mean, the problem is I can't. My imagination runs wild with it, and then it's like my brain's like, you can't eat something that could be tasting you at the same time. That's just not a possibility. So every time somebody says cow tongue, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, there's a story this happened to my dad. He wouldn't eat cow tongue, like the rest of his family. And my aunt made him a sandwich and told him it was a ham sandwich and put the cow tongue on there. And he liked it. Well, he got about halfway through and he was liking it. My aunt informed him at that point that he was eating cow tongue, and he threw up all over the floor.
Oh no.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm not a big fan. I just don't like the idea of tasting something that might taste me bad.
Yeah. And it's my mom was like, "Okay, not the tongue, but you've eaten the brains." I'm like, "The brains don't taste you. How do I explain this?"
But, yeah. I think I've told the story before. My wife, she gets things in her head and she can't get it, so it affects what she can eat. Like, for instance, years and years ago, my boss had went hunting and got a deer, and he had it butchered, cut up into different cuts, and he gave me some of it, and some of it was ground, like hamburger. Oh my gosh, they make the best burgers. Oh, great burgers, very lean, very dark red meat. Anyway, we went camping and I was frying those burgers up on the campfire and made hamburgers, and I did not tell her what it was because I knew better. And she ate it and she's just all like, oh man, this is the best hamburger I've ever eat. This is great and everything. And it was just great. And when she finished the burger, I waited till she finished it. I said, you know what you just ate there? She goes, no, what? I said, you just ate Bambi.
Oh no.
She would never eat anymore again. Even though it was the greatest burger she ever ate, she wouldn't eat anymore.
That's a little bit cruel.
It is, but it's just how we roll around here.
That's Bambi.
Yeah.
Tight old man.
RJ Bandsma, I always want bacon. I can't think of a time that if you offered me a piece of bacon, I wouldn't eat it. I cannot think of a single time that I would turn down bacon. And yes, Deer Burger. It was very good. They make very good burgers. Deer meat does.
I don't think I've ever had that. I mean, I'd eat it.
Yeah.
I got no qualms about it. I'd eat it.
Well, the only time I've ever had deer meat is when somebody I know, friend or family, has went deer hunting during deer season and bagged them a deer. You know, it's not like you can just go to I imagine you can, but it's not like you just go to the local store and there's deer meat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was taking a draw of my cigarette. And for those of you that follow me on Twitter and have been hearing me light up, yes, I'm still smoking, but I'm serious about it. I'm working towards that quitting.
You just cut down over time, mate.
I have. Yeah. And this last trip to the tobacco store yesterday, I bought the small bag. I usually buy the big industrial size bag.
Yeah.
That make like 3 cartons of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And this time I bought the small bag, and I'm trying to ease myself in. My wife and I were talking about it earlier today. And she goes, yeah, you're going to really have to want to do it or you're not going to do it. I said, exactly. I'm working myself up to that, but I'm going to do it.
I believe in you.
I just got to do it in my time. Because I know, folks, I've been smoking for 47 years, and that's not a joke. That is the exact amount of time that I've been smoking, and it's going to be rough, and I'm going to be grumpy, and stream time, I'm liable to bite Alex's head off. And I'm just not looking forward to that.
Well, let's hope I've started my job by then.
So I don't want to be anywhere near here.
Just from my personal experience, B complex, and believe it or not, catnip capsules actually help.
Yeah. I mean, when I mentioned it on Twitter, everybody's like, start vaping. I can't do the vape, people. It chokes the crap out of me. I cough my lungs up when I take a hit off a vape. I've tried it. And my son, J-Kid, actually got me a really nice vape setup. Really nice one.
Go and pester your mother to sort you out, boy. I'm streaming.
I just can't do it. I can't do it. Besides, I like the taste of just a regular cigarette. I don't need all that, vanilla extract, strawberry flavored. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know how you feel, man. I tried to vape once and it gave me heart palpitations. And I went down a strength and it wasn't strong enough. I was just like, well, I'm not doing this then.
Yeah. Michael Weiner says, I smoked for over 30 years, old golds. Oh, that's pretty stout cigarette there. But I have been smoke free for 13 years. Good for you. And I absolutely hate cigarette smoke and the smell of those that smoke. Good for you, dude. I'm glad you could do it. I actually quit once upon a time. I quit for a year and then got stupid, got nervous, and bummed a cigarette off of somebody, thinking, well, I can smoke just one. It'll be all right.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yeah, I went cold turkey for 7 weeks, would you believe?
Yeah.
Woo.
And then I had an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
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 See, that's the other thing that worries me because I'm a heavy coffee drinker, and coffee and cigarettes goes together just like a beer and cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be the tough part. But I've got to quit. I mean, I've been pushing my luck. Like I said, I've been smoking for 47 years. That's pushing my luck, and I've got enough health problems, and part of what caused the problem that I have is smoking.
Yeah.
Clogged my arteries up, and it's just something I'm going to have to do. I just really need to. Plus, save money.
Yeah, smoking's a lot of money, isn't it? Really,
Mhm.
even if you smoke tobacco, it's still quite a bit of
My
money.
problem is I always enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it. I enjoy
Yeah.
sitting there having a cigarette. I do.
Yeah.
And if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't smoke. But yeah, I've got to give it before I end up like my cousin who walks around with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth while she's wheeling an oxygen tank behind her.
Jesus.
No, I don't want to be that person.
Well, it's like in our family, the last person that I was with asked me why I didn't drink all the time. Like, look, my grandfather died of cirrhosis of the liver. So only really a major way to get that, and that's drinking constantly every
Yeah.
day of the week. So I pick and choose. I have maybe a beer or two when Ronan is home every 3 to 6 months. I really tie one on, and that's how I regulate that. And as far as me quitting smoking, I have to because lung cancer is in my family. As a matter of fact, this past weekend, after a 6 month after being diagnosed, 6 weeks after being diagnosed, my mom's little brother died of stage 4 lung and bone cancer.
Mhm.
So I have to, there's things in my family that are a little too close for comfort generation wise.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I've got to quit. But my problem is not that I'm addicted to the nicotine. It's if I'm home and I've got everything done for the day and there's nothing else to do and I'm bored and there's cigarettes in the house, I'll smoke. That's my thing because I've been up since about 7 o'clock this morning. I haven't had a cigarette because I've been busy doing things.
Yeah. Oh, I can go long periods of time without a cigarette and never even really think about them until, like you say, I'm done and I got nothing to do for a minute. And then I think, oh, I'll have a cigarette.
Yeah.
But I've got to. For my own sake, I've got to. I'll probably end up doing the patch, just to try to help me through it, the nicotine patch.
Yeah.
I can't do the gum because of my false teeth. Gum sticks to my teeth.
What about the little nicotine pipe, the little white one that I showed you?
Might be able to do that. I don't know.
It's not a vape. It's not like an e-cigarette or anything like that. All it is just a teeny weeny little pipe that has a certain amount of like nicotine in it, and you just take like a single drag off it. Like the strongest one they have is enough to kind of kick you in the back of the throat. So you have like 2 drags off that, and then you kind of feel better.
Yeah. But yeah, it's something I got to do, and I'm going to do it. I just have to do it in my own time. Right now, I'm just cutting back a lot, cutting way back, and trying to. I'll get to that minute, and I know that I'm going to because as I've thought about this, I have made my mind up to that. This is something I've got to do. I've just got to get to the point to where I say, okay, this is the last one.
Yeah,
I'm done. And I just haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Got close. Almost did it yesterday. Then I thought, no, I'm not quite ready yet. I'm going to the tobacco store. But I'll get it done. I will do it. I'll get it done. I've just got to. And like I said, I've done it before. I quit for a year. And I'd done that cold turkey. Of course, that was many years ago when I hadn't smoked nearly as long. And yeah, I did it then. I'm sure I can do it now.
Oh yeah.
Just gotta wanna.
Yep, you gotta want. It's like I told a friend of mine that had been smoking for a long time and smoking heavy for a long time. He goes, and he started it out with I have to quit. What do you recommend in order for me to quit smoking? I said, until you want to quit, nothing.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you mean? I said, you can need to quit. You can say you have to quit all day long. But until you get up and make the decision that you want to quit, no program is going to work.
Yeah. All you need says I quit 3 times before it stuck. 20 plus years cigarette free. Good for you, dude. Good.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely good for you. Yeah, my dad, he's 80 years old now, and he quit when he was 40. He quit smoking, and he's been. But to this day, 40 years on, he'll still tell you there's times that he'd like to have a cigarette.
Well, of course. That's the thing with cigarettes is there's always an occasion for them.
Mm-hmm.
He quit he replaced them with butterscotch discs, candy, hard candy.
Yeah.
He called them his camels. They were his camels. And then he became diabetic because he was eating the candy all the time.
That's like my dad's never smoked a cigarette, but he does he has cigars, and he used to smoke a pipe. The last time we were up in Minnesota, I didn't even see a pipe in there.
Oh, I love smoking a good pipe.
So I think he's just smoking cigars now. And I don't mean the cheap cigars you buy at the convenience store. I mean the good cigars.
Cigars can be really expensive too.
Yeah. And since they're budgeted, Mom's the one that orders them, because when Dad started smoking cigars, he would order the cheap ones. And Mom said, if you're going to smoke those, you're not going to stink everything up to high heaven. Just let me smoke. She goes,
I love a good pipe, and everybody in my family loves the smell of the pipe.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to inhale a pipe, and I do when I smoke it. And the only kick against smoking a pipe is I don't have many teeth left, so I can't just clamp it in my teeth and then do things with my hands. I have to always have a hand free to hold the pipe. But that's pretty much when I did quit the last time. That's how I quit, was with the aid of a pipe.
Yeah.
I switched over to a pipe for a little while, smoked it, and then backed off the pipe. But Boomer junkie. Boomer likes the pipe. Confirmed. Hey, dude, if you've never smoked a pipe, you don't know. It's a different experience than smoking cigarettes. It's very relaxing. I do like a good pipe. I prefer a nice black Cavendish tobacco, like Black Clipper is one. Captain Black is another one.
Yeah, it's I remember, I think the first time I ever saw my dad smoke a pipe, I was like 8 or 9, and this was after he had tried smoking a couple of cigars in the house, and then he noticed that as he was smoking on the pipe, I was following him around, and he finally stopped, turned around. I said, "What are you following me around for?" Daddy, can you go sit in my room for a little while, because that smells good.
Oh yeah, some of that pipe tobacco smells really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the opposite of cigars.
Oh yeah.
Even I love a good cigar, and even I think they stink. It's been a long time since I've had a good cigar, but I've been wanting one lately. Like to be able to afford to have a nice Maker's Mark cigar. Oh my gosh, those are so good. But they're like, last time I bought one, and that's been 10 years ago or more, they were like $12 a cigar. That's too rich for my blood.
I've tried cigars. I'm not a fan of them.
Well, if you don't get the super, super cheap ones, they're pretty good. There's some good ones. Like in the $12 to $15 range is where they're really nice.
Yeah.
And of course there are cigars that are way more than that. But anyway, what else we got? We've talked a bunch about smoking, and I watched I watched the view numbers go down.
Mhm.
Like, I don't want to hear about it. I need to quit too, but I don't want to hear you talk about it because it makes me think.
Let's see. Yesterday, Ronan had to go back on the road a day early because he got called not to do his usual run. Apparently, somebody quit the company and abandoned the vehicle. So
Oh,
they flew
wow.
him out. Yeah, they flew him out yesterday afternoon to go recover the truck, pick up a load, and bring it back down at $250 a day at $32 a day per diem. So it looks like next week we will have over enough money to pay what's left of our bills and probably get another gaming computer for the house.
There you
So
go.
Nice.
Cynical Lindsay says pumpkin spice is what summoned me. So did you hear? I did explain what the title was about. Were you here for that, Lindsay? If not, I'll repeat it real quick, just for you.
now as it gets cooler, I will be picking up certain spices in the kit in the the grocery store or ordering them off Amazon because it is getting around that time of the year in order for me to put up a recipe for pumpkin spice bread, which is the only thing pumpkin spice that I like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Cynical Lindsay. That's what it was about. This pumpkin spice spam. Yeah.
I do like spam.
Yeah. spam, eggs and spam. I love spam, and there's some good flavored spams out there. The jalapeno spam is good. The bacon spam is really good. and and I love fried spam sandwiches. I do. Take some cheese slices, and fry up some slices of spam. Put it on. Oh, that's good. Good eating right there.
I like when I do that, I'll usually do the Velveeta mac and cheese with the spam chunks in it.
Yeah. And I mentioned eggs and spam a while ago. It actually is good for breakfast for spam.
Yeah.
Fried spam is good for that. Was eating spam just the other day, and there's a can of spam in my cabinet at the moment that I haven't eaten yet. So yeah, I do like spam, just not pumpkin spice spam. Will never cross my lips. No.
There's some things that should not be pumpkin spiced. That's one of them. You have to draw your line somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those people that I know come fall, and that's why I said on Twitter that I blame the millennials for this. They're all about the pumpkin spice lattes. Oh, I gotta have some pumpkin spice lattes. You're really not a coffee drinker. You're not.
I had a hard trouble kissing monsters. That stuff's like crack to me.
Yeah.
But I have not had a monster in months now as well. So,
well, that's good.
Well, yeah. I've always said, and it's true. I've always said that I would have probably more trouble quitting my coffee than I will my cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
And the cigarettes are going to be hard enough. I have no inclination whatsoever of quitting my coffee. It's not even on my radar.
Yeah. And if I want to, spice up my coffee, that's what Kahlua is for.
Michael Weiner, they are foo-foo drinkers, and that's exactly what I call it. Foo-foo coffee. That's what them people are that just come out, during the fall for the pumpkin spice lattes. They're just foo-foo coffee drinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Just not doing it.
Nope. Well, with me, it's like I've had friends growing up look at me and go, "How in the world are you drinking that coffee? Like, the Folgers coffee, the Maxwell House coffee notes. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it faze you?" I'm like, I grew up with my grandparents giving me 2 fingers of Cuban coffee with sugar every morning. Do you really think Folgers is going to faze me at this point? I mean, I got indoctrinated with espresso, and you're handing me drip coffee.
BG, I don't think you've got. He says, how much would we have to slip Mrs. BW to sneak you a fried pumpkin spice spam sandwich? I don't know that there's enough money because, for one, she doesn't cook. God bless her, she could burn water, and that's not a joke. I've seen her do it. And two, she didn't. I showed that to her, and she didn't like the idea of it at all. I thought she was going to puke.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it. Yes, Pat. Those are exactly who I thought about when I thought about the pumpkin spice lattes. Was Mims and SDA.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to say, hey, what about that? What the heck is wrong with Sophane and Jeff the last couple of days? My God, they've went off the deep end. It's like they're trying to run everybody off, to run off the last remaining slightly righter than they are friends and acquaintances they have. They're not even having arguments. They're just trying to make people mad.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to them. I think they might be suffering. I think if I may wager a joking guess, I think Mems is holding off on Jeff. I don't think he's had any for a while, and neither has Sophane.
I don't know, but it's the last couple of days on Twitter they've gone nuts, and I'm like, no, what's wrong with you guys? Are you off your meds?
Right.
And that's all I'm going to say on it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Yeah. I don't. But I just noticed that on Twitter, and I haven't spent a lot of time on Twitter lately, last few days. But what little bit, it doesn't take much to look on my timeline and see all that stuff going on. I'm like, oh my God.
I think they took their brains out of their heads for a while and just decided to figure out if they could, find out if they could function without a brain in their head or something.
Yeah. I just don't know, anyway. So let's see what else we got. We haven't mentioned, and it's old news, you got Miss Ilhan Omar and what's her name, Tlaib, over there getting refused into Israel. Imagine my shock.
Well, yeah, of course they're not going to let them in.
Oh no! Now this morning, they were actually allowed passage through in order to get to the West Bank, but Tlaib refused going now because the minister said the only way that she would be allowed in the West Bank is if she agreed to, which she did in a letter, not to protest against Israel or do press conferences that are anti-Israeli.
Yeah.
So she agreed to that, but then she said she wasn't going.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, it's just all it's a ploy. It was a political ploy, was from the beginning. I mean, I can't blame Israel for not letting them in. I'm not sure. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm for free speech. Let them in, say what they want to. But I can't blame Israel either for not wanting them in there because, that's a big issue over there. There's people getting killed each and every day over that topic in Israel.
Yeah. And
so
that's truth.
Can't hardly blame them. And they did. They said, okay, well, if you want to stay and see your grandma, go ahead, but you'll have to not protest and no mention of it while you're here. And she couldn't even do that. So I guess her politics is more important than her grandmother, who she claimed, she was like before that, oh, my grandmother's 90-something years old, and this will be my last chance to see her, and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And Israel come back and said, okay, well, you can see your grandma. You just got to keep your mouth shut. And she just couldn't do it.
The minister said something about that in response to her, changing her mind and not going. And I'm like, yeah, you're just political. It's just grandstanding. You're just politically posturing to see if you can win, points. Because I covered that this morning in my little news podcast. And I'm like, yeah, it's just. No, you're just grandstanding. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, and then that's all it was about. And I really can't blame Israel for doing it.
Well, no one has a right to entry. I mean, I don't have a right of entry to America. Like, I can just get on a plane, come on over, without a passport, and just demand to be given a platform to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me see. I found the little article I read from. It said, Derry, the Interior Ministry, said after the cancellation that her initial request was apparently a provocative request aimed at bashing the state of Israel. And apparently, he tweeted, apparently her hate of Israel overcomes her love for her grandmother. He tweeted.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, my dad's elderly. He's 80 years old. I'm not going to have him with me much longer. I have no doubt of that. His health is just too bad, you know. Of course, he could fool me, you know, it happens, and be here another 10 years or so. Who knows? But if I had an opportunity to see him, and it was my last time to see him, and I had the opportunity to either see my dad or squawk out my politics, I'm going to pick seeing my dad.
Yeah.
Because I can squawk about my politics later, all I
Yeah.
want to. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just when her and Ilhan wanted to go down, everybody knew why they wanted to go. They didn't want to go to provide an objective eye as to what's going down there. They already had an idea of what they wanted to say when they got there. They already have what they want to see in their heads.
Yeah.
And that's what they were going to report, what they wanted to see, the quote unquote, you know, oppression of the Palestinian people because of the Israeli occupation. Never mind that the Palestinians in the West Bank, you know, comprise almost 3 times the population of the Israelis on the West Bank.
Yeah. It's just, I just rolled my eyes like, really? Your politics is that important to you that you're willing to give up a chance, probably the last chance ever, to see your grandmother for it?
Hatred is a powerful emotion, dude.
Yep.
I guess so.
She must be seething.
Well, she tried to cover it up with a later tweet saying, this is not what my grandmother wants for me, and she doesn't want this for me. Like, you know, grandma's all behind her for it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, God. But see, that's my issue. Even though I'm in this genre of YouTube, I didn't get into it for politics. I wanted to poke fingers at the feminists.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not here for politics. I have politics. I have beliefs, you know, but I'm not here to talk about them all the time.
Yeah.
And people, because we mentioned Jeff and Sophane earlier, you know, when your politics becomes your whole persona, that's all you are.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a conservative, but that's not all that I am. I'm a whole lot of other different things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's redneck.
Yeah. That's why I say I'm a conservative, but I'm not a Republican, because I don't want that identity politics that comes with identifying with just one party.
Yeah.
Screw that.
That's a lot of drama as well, right there.
Yeah.
A lot of drama.
And Omar and Talib, that's what's happened to them. You know, and some of the others over there. You know, it's all about the identity politics. That's their most important thing. I don't get it.
Me either.
Well, it's less politics, more power, isn't it? You know, it's being able to put yourself in a position. It's more money, more you know, lobbying and things like that. You know, than it actually is, you know, making life better for people. I think the vast majority of politicians kind of get wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
Michael Weiner, why are you sighing? Tell me why you're sighing. Let me make you happy.
He didn't say anything bad about Israel, Michael. Come on, like, you should be all right.
Oh no, I love Israel. I've got an Israeli flag. I do.
What, are you a freaking Zionist? God,
don't you just hate that? Don't you?
Yeah, I've gotten that a few times during my YouTube. I'm just like, okay.
I believe in Israel's right as a country to exist and to be self-governing. Yeah. And if that makes me a Zionist, then I guess that's what I am. I don't know.
Yeah. That's like one of the first arguments I got on Twitter with our favorite fallen star, for lack of a better word. And he goes, well, you conservatives are all alike. And I responded with, oh, because I don't agree with your talking points, I'm a conservative. Thank you for the assumption.
Well, I am one, and I'll admit it. And I seen a tweet today and I had a hard time not responding to it because I'm like, oh yeah, like all us conservatives are all the same, just like all you liberals are all the same. Not. People are different. We're not all the same. That's when it gets to that point where all conservatives are stupid, or the other way, all liberals are stupid, is where I draw the line.
Yeah, it's just easier to do because it's freaking Twitter, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's a bad platform for meaningful conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
terrible platform for it.
But it always seems to be that if you don't agree with the person that you're having the discussion with, all of a sudden you're on the other side of the political fence, and it's like, thank you for making an ass out of yourself, because that assumption is not correct. And I've done that a couple of times. And somebody goes, "What do you mean you're not conservative?" Look, there's good points and bad points about every political party.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't align myself with any particular party. Now, I may sound conservative in some aspects and liberal in others and libertarian in yet others. That's the way I like it. A, because I like to pick what I agree with from each party. And B, because when I do that, sometimes during a conversation, I confuse the living crap out of the person I'm talking to.
Yeah, Lindsay, I don't agree with that. Calling somebody an anti-Semite just because they criticize Israel. Israel's not infallible, no more than the United States is infallible.
Yeah.
And everybody knows how much I love my country. But I don't always agree with them. They're not infallible, But yeah. I don't know if you guys heard me while you was talking. I actually facepalmed Badger out there in the chat saying, did someone say Israel?
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you.
What's this faster, higher, stronger stuff? Are you the $6 million man? You Steve Austin?
$6 million Badger.
Steve Austin, a man barely alive.
Oh no, it's Dax. I know the reference. I've seen him say it, but I think Sophane realizes that I'm not one of those centrists.
Yeah.
The so-called, I'm a centrist when all you are is a fence sitter. It's like, yeah, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. That's the bottom line because Badger said so. That's a different Steve Austin, dude. Of course, you're way too young to have remembered the $6 million man.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. There's some people currently on my Twitter follow list that aren't going to be there a whole lot longer, I don't think. I'm getting my fill. If you're just not even capable of having a conversation, then I got no time. For you.
Yeah.
It's one thing to throw insults and gotchas and stuff now and again. Yeah, I get that. Have fun, go ahead. But when it comes right down to brass tacks, if you're just not even capable of having a conversation, yeah, I'm done. No matter how much I might like you, I just don't want to see that all the time. Real quick, thank you. Wait for it to load because every time I switch away from the tab, it has to reload. Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. You don't follow me, old man. On what? I didn't think you.
He doesn't have Twitter.
I know.
Don't fall for it. All he has is Discord.
Yeah, I know he does. That's what I thought. He didn't have Twitter. And there's a lot of people that I like on Twitter, and I've mentioned this before. I guess it's a good time to mention it again, that I don't follow. And it's nothing personal. It's just I'm old and I can only keep up with so many. And I have over 900 and something people following me, and I can't follow all of them back. There's no way I can keep up with that.
Yeah.
No freaking way.
Yeah, there's enough cancer that goes onto my timeline.
Yeah,
You know,
it's nothing personal. It's just what I can keep up with. You know, I like to keep the people that I follow down to around 200 to 250 people. That's about it for me. That's about all I can keep up with.
yeah, there are a few people that follow me.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I would say I've even streamed with them in the past, but I don't follow them back, and that's for good reason. I don't want them to be able to contact me.
Well,
me.
Suit Yourself on his newest account just followed me. It was a few weeks ago, and I haven't followed him back. And I love Suit.
You only get so many followers, dude. I'm sorry,
but I love Suit. However, I also learned from past experience that you only follow Suit Yourself at your own risk.
Yes, very, very true. Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Screw you, Alex, for outing me.
Well,
it wasn't that funny of a joke anyway, Cryptic. Come on.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to call it as I see it.
And you've been a dick enough times to me for me to ruin your joke. So, have that.
Oh, Kyler says, I was the $6 million man for Halloween when I was a kid. Dude, I was all about the $6 million man when I was a kid. Because when that was on TV, that was it for me. I look back at it now as an adult and think, man, this was hokey. Good gosh, this was terrible. But as a kid, yeah, that was great stuff. Let's see, what do we got? We're at
it's basically question time now.
Yeah, it's not quite 20 past the hour, but close enough for government work. So, yeah, questions. Guys, if you want them, ask any one of us any question that you want. And if we don't want to answer it, we'll say so, but chances are we'll answer it.
Yeah.
BG says, kind of like following Bear, he loves sending fat chicks pics, both erotic and normal, at people.
It's been a while since I've done that.
I was going to say, man, I've been following. Alex is one of the first people I ever even followed on Twitter as when I first got on. Because I fought having Twitter for a long while.
It's been a while since I've been in a really kind of like trollish mood. And I only do that kind of thing. Like it's usually like a monkey in the morning, but that's like one example of when I've done it. But, I haven't really been in that kind of trolly mindset in a while. So, I mean, I can do it again if you want. I've got no qualms about it, dude.
Kyler and All You Need both talking about how TV shows in the 70s were hokey. And yeah, I know, I know they were, but that was especially. It really especially was.
Any hold my beer moments for me? Let me see. There was. Let me see. I can't think of most of them was when I was a kid, so I have to think back. Normally during summer break, because that's when all the stupid shit really happened. Let's see. I had my two uncles. My bra moments. There
were. You may not want to talk about those,
right? Let's see. Yeah, every summer I'd go down for summer break, get bounced in between my two sets of grandparents, and inevitably wind up in Key Largo with one of my uncles who had a trailer apiece down there. I had two. And this particular trip, we were in my Uncle Joe's boat, because both of them had boats too. Surprise, surprise. Can't be in Keys with that boat. And he was taking everybody out in what was called a bobsled. Now, if those of you that don't know it, just imagine a bobsled without the things on the bottom, bright orange, and kind of ribbed on the bottom so it can actually glide on top of the water, and you got yourself a bobsled. It can be either tied to the back of the boat, or you can hold It was normally tied to the back of the boat with you being able to hold directly onto it or hold onto a rope if you wanted to stand up if you were that brave. I was not that brave. I sat down on the thing. My uncle started it up, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then all of a sudden he started going faster. And I kept shouting, slow down, slow down, which either he didn't hear me or later on he tried to say that, it sounded like I was saying go faster. Bullshit. I think he was hearing what he wanted to hear. So I figured the only way to get it to stop was to let go, and I must have bounced on the water 3 or 4 times before I finally stopped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's happened to me, and that reminds me of a story that I'll tell here real quick in a minute. But before I do, I wanted to, Joel Brown, let me find it, asked, do I think Tlaib and Omar will use their rejection for political gain? I think they will somehow. I think they already have. Mm-hmm. And I think they're already doing that. But so I guess the answer to your question would be yes. But many years ago, when I was a teenager, one of my uncles had a ski boat, and I'd never been skiing. Heck, I'm a poor white kid, a poor redneck, and my dad had never been skiing either. So he invited us to go skiing. Neither one of us had went. Anybody that water skis knows that the hardest part to learn is how to get up.
Yeah.
How to get up. That's the hardest part to learn. And I eventually did do it. I wouldn't say I mastered it, but I did get up on the skis. My dad, it was his time. And, he's down in the water and he's pulling along and he shakily gets up, and he does get up on his legs, but then only lasts a couple of minutes before he falls forward onto the water and forgets to let go of the rope.
Oh, God.
So he's being pulled on his belly on this rope, and his head's up, right? His neck is back, his head's up. So this spray of water is just going up over his face. You can just barely see his face as a blur through this fountain of water going over his head. I guess that must have started hurting him, so he decides to put his head down. And when he put his head down, it was like a submarine. He immediately went under the water. Oh. You couldn't even see him. The boat's just full. Until he finally, it soaks in for him to let go of the rope.
Bless him.
That was one of the funniest things I ever seen. He's never been water skiing since. I've never have either. Not because I wouldn't want to, just never had the chance. My people ain't got the money, and this particular uncle really didn't have the money either, but he's that uncle that he's on a beer budget with champagne taste, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He likes to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I had there was one particular fishing expedition down there in the Keys that we had some relatives from Puerto Rico. Yes, I have Puerto Rican relatives. Came to Miami, and we were all on the boat. Now, my cousins were on the boat with me. We were using the rods and reels. My uncle was harpoon fishing, and he had caught a barracuda that he stuck in the cooler. Now, the barracuda wasn't completely dead. I knew this. I was paying attention to when he put it in the cooler. And but my 2 cousins did not. So my female cousin, this was over 20, 30 years ago, so I can't remember her name exactly. She went to walk by the cooler to get to the cooler where the drinks were. And she was right next to the cooler when the barracuda flopped, and both lids of the cooler went boom, boom, and she jumped all the way to the other side of the boat and didn't get anywhere near that cooler for the rest of the fishing trip.
Jedi Ghost Bear, that's gone on for a while. You can't say redneck is one word in the can't say it in comments either. If you make a comment, it won't let you.
Well, at least they recognize that it can be used as a pejorative. I mean, you're now a protected class on YouTube, Bloodwing.
I don't want to be one.
Too bad. We're protecting you.
It's
I
the
don't
problem.
want to be one.
Too
I,
bad.
I want to take this word back. Yes, redneck. Absolutely. It started as a pejorative. It was as high class, snooty, hotsy totsy people making fun of people that work for a living. Because in their mind they were ignorant and unlearned. Redneck comes from, you work out in the sun long enough, the back of your neck gets red.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I want to take it back. I want to
Well, I
own
mean,
it. Proud of it.
YouTube has appropriated it and decided that you are now a protected class of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also not allowed to express any kind of political opinions because I don't think there's any I can't imagine a quote unquote progressive redneck, but I can imagine the majority of you are conservative leaning at the very least.
And no, BG, not cracker. Cracker's a whole different thing.
Excuse me.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm proud of being a redneck. Most redneck that and yeah, a lot of the reputation we have, the hold my beer stuff and all that, is deserved. It's deserved. I'm not going to tell you it's not. But most of the rednecks I know are hardworking, honest people, good people. Now, I'm not talking about white trash. White trash is a whole nother kettle of fish.
I could hear the smirk on your face when you said that.
Oh, well, that's because I live in a neighborhood surrounded by white trash. Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's like somebody was sitting there. We were all talking about derogatory terms, and I'm like, if you talk to a couple of my friends that happen to be black, they will tell you that they use the N word that I will not say in polite company in reference to that particular aspect of their race that is not inclined to do anything productive.
Yeah.
So and then there's you got your white trash, which are pretty much the same way, and then Cubans have that. Every ethnicity has that one group people in their ethnicity they wish they didn't have.
Yep. Yeah, and the white trash absolutely are a thing. And they absolutely do exist, and they are a scourge upon us rednecks because they get us confused all the time. Yeah. Because most white trash are rednecks. Not all rednecks are white trash.
I live in an area that could be construed as a British redneck neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the majority of them being white trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There are some good, honest, hardworking people where I live. 100%. And there are but there's a lot of scumbags here too, They're very distrusting of the police, and
that's why I'm proud of the term redneck and the fact that I am, because most redneck people outside of white trash that I know are just good, honest, hardworking people that good neighbors, and friendly. Geez, here in Indianapolis, you don't see that because it's a city, but you go down to where I'm from in Kentucky and you drive down the road, everybody that passes you coming down the other way will stick their arm out the window and wave, whether they know you or not.
But don't you wave at me. I'm not your friend, buddy.
Odd. It's odd when you're not used to it. It is strange, but you get used to it. And it's honest to goodness truth. You be going down that road, some car coming at you, and out goes the arm. Hey.
Yeah.
Why is he having a go at me?
But hey, we are at that time. We're at the end of the stream. And as always, thank you guys for coming out and supporting the stream. I really do appreciate you guys. There was lots of times during my YouTube career where I'd never thought I'd have a group like this. Struggled to get anybody to watch any of my stuff other than my other YouTube friends like Monkey and Bear and so forth. But I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. Thanks for coming out and hanging out. Thanks to those that were able to give a little something extra and make the donations. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys. We appreciate those people who are able and would like to support their favorite content creators. Absolutely. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely. And Alex, thank you as always. Anything you want to shout out?
Not really. No. I think most people are subscribed to Irate Alex, and they know what the situation is currently and what's going to be happening with both the channels. I did release a new video the day before yesterday. I think it was a video called "Candid Calls," talking all kinds of smack about Twitch, where I even created my own 30-second commercial parody ad of Twitch. Go check it out, guys, if you have a spare 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Maddie, always a pleasure to have you. Anything you want to shout out?
I do have one thing to shout out. If you guys want the ultimate in cuteness, Ruby Sue has her own channel.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah.
Your dog has a YouTube channel?
Yes, my dog has a YouTube channel. When you do the news and you have a news hound, your news hound has to have a channel.
Okay. All right. Go on. Oh, fine.
The one-eyed pirate dog.
Yep. The one-eyed pirate dog. We are planning on getting her an eye patch. Seriously, we are. And then we've been having discussions, because I'm not going to call them arguments. He wants to buy clothes for her, and I'm like, except a jacket in the wintertime. I don't clothe animals. He goes, oh, come on, she's cute. Roden.
Yeah, my missus is the same. She won't have anything on animals unless
give him a pork chop for me. Give him a pork chop right upside the head. And what do you think can put clothes on that dog? What is this, Instagram?
She's already got a jacket. Jeez, it's got a perma jacket on.
Sorry, Kyler. I took away your excuse not to mow the lawn, dude. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry about it, because mowing grass is my least favorite job too. I hate it. But anyway, thanks everybody. Be sure to join us again for Redneck Radio on Tuesday at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And if I get finished editing it today, which I will, even if I have to stay at it late, be sure to catch the premiere of episode 11 of Redneck Trek at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So anyway, until then, get out of my yard.
Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
See ya.